everyone. So this is the last part of respiration, and in this lecture we'll be discussing about the electron transport chain. So let's just have a quick overview. So initially in the step 1 we discussed the glycolysis, from which we had the pyruvic acid produced, and after the formation of the pyruvic acid got converted into the acetyl coenzyme A by the help of PDH complex, and that acetyl coenzyme A entered into the Krebs cycle in order to produce the energy rich molecules, and those were NADH, FADH2 and the GTP, and also there was elimination of carbon dioxide. So now in the final step we will have the formation of the ATPs, that is via the electron transport chain. So let's look into few points regarding the electron transport chain. So in the electron transport chain we have the passage of electrons which occurs in a sequential manner, and it occurs via a series of the complexes, and in this process we have the reduction of oxygen, the production of ATPs, and also there occurs the oxidation of NADH and FADH2 that are produced in the previous cycles. So finally via the electron transport chain we have the generation of the electrochemical gradient, and also we have the proton motive force which help in the functioning of the ATP synthase. So talking about the site where it occurs, so in case of the prokaryotes it occurs in the mesosome. The infoldings of the plasma membrane in the bacteria, they are known as the mesosome, where the electron transport chain functions, and in case of eukaryotes the ETC occurs on the inner membrane of the mitochondria. So this is the complete process of the electron transport chain. I have tried to make it as simple as possible. So first of all we need to understand that there occurs involvement of four complexes, that is complex 1, complex 2, complex 3, and then we have the complex 4. The connectors of these complexes are, we have ubiquinone connecting the complex 1 and 2 and transporting the electrons from complex 1 and complex 2 and carrying it forward to the complex 3rd. Cytochrome C, which is present in between the complex 3rd and complex 4, helps in the passage of electrons from the complex 3 to the complex 4, which finally hand overs the electrons to the final or the terminal electron acceptor, that is oxygen. So oxidation of NADH into NAD plus, there occurs evolution of electrons which are taken up by the complex first. The complex 2 takes up the electron that are eliminated by the oxidation of FADH into FAD plus, and after the taking up of the electrons, these electrons are handed over to the ubiquinone which transports these electrons to the complex 3rd, and this complex 3 passes on these electrons via the cytochrome C to the complex 4, which finally gives these electrons to the oxygen, which is the final electron acceptor, and finally the water is formed. These pumping of electrons help in the ATP synthesis. How it helps? We'll understand it in the next slide. The next point to remember is that at the initial step there is more free energy, but as the electron transport chain moves forward, the free energy reduces. Inverse of it, the reduction potential is less in the initial steps, but the reduction potential increases as we move forward in this chain. So let's first talk about the ATP synthase, which helps in the ATP formation. So talking about the ATP synthase, it is an enzymatic protein complex, and this complex helps in the photophosphorylation in the thylakoid membrane. We know what is photophosphorylation and also about the thylakoid. We have already discussed it previously. Talking about the structure of the ATP synthase, we have two subunits, that is CF0 and CF1, which is also known as F0 and F1. CF stands for the coupling factor. So talking about the coupling factor 0, it is an integral protein complex and it is found across the thylakoid membrane, which is formed of 4 different polypeptides. Talking about the coupling factor 1, it is the headpiece and it is formed of the 5 different polypeptides. So let's understand via the help of this diagram. So this headpiece is the CF1 or the F1 and the structure which is embedded is the F0. So talking about the F1, that is the headpiece, it is made up of 5 different polypeptides and these polypeptides club together to form this balloon-like structure. And talking about the F0, the F0 is an integral membrane protein which forms the proton channel, which helps in the pumping of the protons and finally the production of the ATP. So this is how the complete process works. We have just discussed that from the complex 1 there occurs the oxidation of NADH, and also here we have the second complex via which the FADH2 is reduced. Then we have complex 3 and complex 4. Via the complex 1 occurs the pumping of 4 protons, and from the complex 3 also we have 4 protons pumped. So when the proton gets pumped from the matrix to the intermembrane space, there occurs the pumping via this ATP synthase complex, which is composed of the F0 and the F1. So this F0 or the CF0 forms the proton channel via which the protons are pumped back into the matrix, and following the pumping of the proton there occurs the production of the ATP. This is the final ATP, which is the ultimate goal of the respiration. So with this we are done with the complete electron transport chain. So let's solve a question related to the same now. So the question is asking about the coupling of the reaction centers of the oxidative phosphorylation is achieved by which of the following. So it is asking about that which of the following helps in the coupling or connecting the complexes together. So as we have just studied that these couplers are the ubiquinone and the cytochrome. Hence, C is the correct answer, that is ubiquinones and the cytochrome C. Which of the following? So, it is asking about that which of the following helps in the coupling or connecting the complexes together. So, as we have just studied, these couplers are the ubiquinone and the cytochrome. Hence, C is the correct answer, that is ubiquinones and the cytochrome C. So let's just go through the complete bioenergetics of the aerobic respiration. So in case of glycolysis, we have the 7 ATPs produced. In case of the acetyl coenzyme A, we had 5 ATP produced. And in case of the Krebs cycle, we had the 20 ATPs produced in total. So after calculating all the ATPs from each of the processes, we have in total 32 ATPs produced in case of the aerobic respiration. The last step, that is the electron transport chain, it actually helps in the sequential pumping of the electrons from the intermembrane space into the matrix for the final ATP production. So overall, all these processes are interrelated and At the final step, that is the electron transport chain, we have the ATPs produced. So with this, we are done with the complete process of respiration in detail, step by step. So if you like this video, please do like, share it with your friends, and please subscribe to my channel. It would be very helpful. And I'll be coming up very soon with the next video. So thank you so much for watching, and till then keep learning.